Welcome back, everybody. We're going to do our usual daily recap of the 7th of September. Of course, we're going to do our usual pairs, gold, Bitcoin, and EUR/dollar. Today is going to be sort of interesting to do because of what happened on the different pairs. Let's start with gold as usual. On the hourly time frame, what we were expecting this morning was absolutely the opposite of what ended up happening. We were expecting a continuation of the bullish bias coming from last week dovish figures from the NFP, expecting a pullback. We saw this morning a retest and a rejection of this key level 1828 happening, but then where I was expecting either a double bottom continuation up. Yes, there were some risky scalps below 1817. There were some risky moves below 1807. The safer sells below 1807. They actually played out, but as we are going to see on the 1 minute time frame, it was not kind of easy and possible to enter on the dot, and we're going to see why. Okay, let's start on the gold. As you can see, we were starting this morning here, and we put the levels. We already know this, 1807, 1817 is around here, doesn't matter very much. Here, okay. 1820, key level, let's start from the key level and go down. So we saw failure to break above key level, FAQ candle, and then price moving down. Not a fast London session, not the fastest, but gold price around 80 pips. This is 80 pips from 1820 to 1812.5. Bouncing, break and retest, failing to break above, continuation down, and then after another retest, the last low being created here, and then we see some ranging between 1807 and 1812 key level. We see very aggressive bearish push, creating a reaction exactly at these previous lows. We see a double bottom and then a revisit slightly above 1812.5. It gave us a nice break and retest, but without any momentum. We're already at New York Stock Exchange. We saw another very aggressive bearish candle reacting again at these previous highs. As you can see, previous lows, sorry. And then what happened was this one. At 4 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. 4 p.m. European time, 10 a.m. Eastern, we had Biden saying, the administration saying, on Thursday, we are going to lay out a 6-pronged strategy aimed at stopping the spread of the Delta variant. This was the most optimistic thing he could have said, especially coming from a president who was not being that much present with the speeches, with the talks, tweets, etc., communication. So the Biden administration coming out with this news gave investors a very, very, very optimistic outlook, fading away the fears from the Fed, saying that the Delta variant is a concern. And we saw immediately, oops, not this one. We saw immediately a drop, immediately, without time to enter, unless you had some sell stops placed below the 1707. That was the high time frame intraday safer sells price point. Gave a nice retest of 1803, but in this moment, as we were on the live Zoom call, it was not clear if investors, maybe it was just a liquidity grab. It happened many times that gold this push and then grabbing liquidity and then moving on the opposite side. Happened many times, even recently. So safer sells only between below 1803 were not actually called. We're going to say where would have been the nice scalp above with this new sentiment. We saw continuation below 1803, retest, and going below 1795 at another resistivity area, and then you see a very strong bounce of this PSA, not giving actually a nice retest of the key level, so no clear entry was given at 1705, but what we could have entered was here. We saw buyers exhausting one and a couple of minutes of very slow price action, giving you the opportunity to say, okay, it's a reaction at these order block lows. I can enter medium risk sells, and they play out very nice. They would have played out very nice for like, remember, this is very small, but we are talking about 18 flat to 1792, 1793, talking about 70 pips, 70 pips in a few minutes. So very crazy. Since then, we've been ranging, but this strength of dollar was already very, very clear from the morning, giving this very, very strong bearish trend. But then was confirmed with the pure optimism coming from the president itself. That was unexpected, honestly, but that actually brought a lot of optimism on all the USD pairs, as we're going to see. So just for gold, this is it. Just give me a second. All right, we're going now with the euro dollar. This morning, the analysis was very, very similar to the one of gold. We were still in a bullish bias against the weak US dollar. We were identifying a sort of wedge slash flag being created, as we can see here. This is a flag. To me, it looks like a triangle. If you do like this, it looks like a flag. No, that's why we don't use these patterns anyway. So we're identifying buyers were making every time lower highs. Sellers were pushing up every time. We're coming into a wedge. And then what we saw today was a very, very aggressive bearish move, taking advantage of the dollar strength, short-term strength. So this morning we were expecting either a double bottom and then continuation up, or safer sells below this level to then take safe buys, high-risk buys at these lows here, or even safer sells below 1.18569. Okay, sorry, that's it. Let's go on the 1 minute time frame. Very good. Let's go. Let's jump on the 1 minute time frame. As you can see here, let me fix it. Okay, around here, So this morning we were reacting in the price sensitivity area, failing to break, giving you break and retest of these previous lows, and then continuation down, making a new high, lower high, new lower high, new lower low, new lower high, new lower low, new lower high, until it broke the PSA, and then made a new low on the intraday time frame. Then we saw another block being created, a break, retest, and then continuation up bullish. From here, retest, now we're going to see where, and then again attempting to break on the upside this PSA with, as you can see, failing very badly. This was a retest of this previous high, also of these price sensitivity areas on the left hand side. As you can see, failing to break above equals very strong rejection. You don't manage to enter here on the high risk high reward. You get retest of these previous lows, you get bullish retesting these previous lows, and then you get your final push on the downside. Sorry, not here. You see a first reaction, these previous lows over here. You see the first reaction, failing to make new highs, and then break and retest to make a new intraday high. As well, very, very aggressive counter move. Let's see what range are we talking about here. We're talking about 21 pip range, so it's not bad for a currency. Immediate reaction, first reaction and rejection at the PPL, bounce off this previous, as you can see, how is mirroring exactly 1, 2, 3, down, 1, 2, 3, up. Very, very, very similar and mirroring the previous move, giving a small retest, and then continuation up to try to make a new high, failing again, as you can see, not even reaching the PSA. Then here we see the formation, the creation of another block. If you see these lows are exactly the same, the intraday PSA, with the top of the other block being the top of the failure of breaking above the last time. We see price falling short again, giving you the possibility of entering scalp sells. Here, break retest below, and then you see creation of order block failing to make new very, very clear lows, because we are reacting at this previous PSA on the left hand side. As you can see, not on the dot, but we are reacting at these lows. From there, you can see again, not a clear uptrend. You can call it fuck you candle. Another attempt to make new very high. Failure to break. And then you see very aggressive bearish momentum, creating lower highs and lower lows, breaking PSAs like butter, but indeed causing some reactions. If it's not on the first tap, it's on the next one. It is indeed reacting at this big PSA area on the left hand side, not on the dot, but it is a full of price action area. Nonetheless, it's failing to break on the upside, so it's not giving you either a retest for better sells or showing buyer's momentum. So it's always closing here, giving you the chance of entering high risk, high reward sells. We are in New York, New York. Now we are coming towards New York Stock Exchange opening, and we see that when NYSE opened, we had a very, very aggressive bullish candle and momentum to retest this previous PSA slash the level. But what looks like what we already saw in gold, we had here the boss coming in and talking and giving optimism to the USD currency here, saying that the taper is not actually that the Delta variant is going to be tackled. And this, of course, gave immediately not as melting as it did on gold, of course, but gave dollar short term very much strength, a lot of strength, to break below the 1.18400 PSA key level, sorry, giving you opportunity for buy scalps, reaction exactly at these previous highs, still making a double bottom at this previous PSA and slightly below the key level, showing you a clear double bottom, and then coming back into the range with not big moves afterwards. Here we saw a slight, very slow bearish trend. I'm going to revisit the key level. So this is it for EU, sorry. And now the main event, we're going to see Bitcoin. Today gave us very, very interesting price action. As you can see, we were bullish, trying to see if we had some reaction here to get a double top to sell, safer sells below 51 something, which happened, as you can see, with also a break and retest on the hourly time frame. We're going to see on the 1 minute, but as you can see, we are not even, it's not even all in the chart because it was too much. Look here how much it melted. That's crazy. This is craziness. From the safer cells, melted 850 pips, $8,000 per Bitcoin. From the top, almost 1,000 pips. Crazy. In one day, in 2 hours. But let's jump on the 1 minute. As you can see, I cannot actually do anything in the chart like this. Yes, yes. This, my analysis would be this one, and then range done. Okay, see you next time. But this is crazy. It's unbelievable if you think about it. I'm going to show you each of these lines between the range is 25 pips. It's crazy. So we're going to do a little by little. And okay, now it's back. 25 by 25. Let me just remove this one. Okay, good. We're going to see from this morning, identifying, yes, a bearish, but as you can see, between BPLs, and then break and retest, break, retest, giving you bearish trend. Here, break and retest, order block being created, but still failing to make new highs. And then pushing down here. If you think about it, this was just taking advantage of the dollar weakness, which was, as you can see, I showed you 80 pips on gold. Remember, each of these one is 25 pips. So just from this morning during London session, we had 225 pips more. Crazy. Just taking advantage of the weakness. Then we saw some ranging here, ranging to trying to break above, is trying to see a shift in market structure, but this was the previous lower high zone. And as you can see, price fails to break. You needed to see this one to see a shift in market structure, but instead what we saw was another reaction at the PPL, again trying to break below, and then continuation always on a bearish trend, as you can see, even on the lower time frame, very bearish. But still, if you will look on maybe on the hourly, on the 30 minutes, we are sort of in order block. We want to take advantage of the sells below these levels, as you can see here, safer below the key level, your choice. And as you can see, dollar weakness gave you all these opportunities because it gave you high risk reward sells, medium risk sells, break retest safer sells at the bottom of this order block, break retest of this bottom of order block, and then continuation down. As you can see, for now we are already taking advantage of from this morning 300 pips move. Okay, around here, very good. Let me cancel this. Go. Okay, and let's move on the other part of the day. We need to shrink it a little bit because as you can see, as you saw from the other different pairs, what happened at 4 p.m. So we were in a nice and range, not anything relevant, when Biden came out and said what we saw. From there, L broke loose. Here, last stop of 50, around 51,000, 65, 650. But then price, even if in a very strong bearish move, always gave you opportunities at the PPLs. Here, 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 break and retest, reaction here, break exactly on the dot, retest exactly on the dot, another aggressive bearish candle, look here on the dot, on the dot, on the dot, on the dot. That's crazy. On the dot. These are 150 pips candles. This, guys, is 1 minute. Another one, another one. You get like 450 pips in 3 minutes. Oh yes, crazy. Bounce off the key level and then correction up. Giving you this nice price chart pattern. These are just the key levels, as you can see, but these are PPRs, and then we start arranging till the end of the day. So let's just do this. At 1, 4 here. Okay. There's no need that I tell you what happened here. Let me be professional. There you go. As you can see, price melting down. But indeed, giving you opportunities at the PPLs. Yeah. Then we saw the Salvador news about buying, entering Bitcoin again, giving a correction of half of the move, but still indeed a correction, bullish correction. These look very, very small candles. They look very, very tiny. They look okay, yeah, consolidation, nothing really happening. Remember this 25, 50, 75. This is 75 pips candles, just like this. So here, let me highlight this 800 pips. Of a meltdown on gold today, on Bitcoin today. So this is it for today. Very nice, very crazy day. See you tomorrow.